live. All right, so I actually wanted to talk about today in terms of expecting people to, the one thing that people are going to expect you to do and expect of you is that they're not going to trust anything that you are going to say. And this is really strange, I think. So and I'm going to tell you a bit of a story why I'm talking about this. So if you don't know me, I am Professor at MassTech. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people to help me out that I want to pay the favor forward to help you out. So what's really interesting with this sort of social media thing that I'm doing and putting out these different videos is that the reactions that I get with people responding to them. So I've been doing a lot of TikTok stuff. So if you go on, there's TikTok on there. It's a lot of different videos and things like that, little clips. But what ceases to amaze me is the comments that people put and they talk about with the advice that I'm actually giving. And it is really funny because what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to, as you know, is I'm trying to give you some really sound advice. I'm trying to create this evil empire of being nice to other people, do things that are patient, do things for the long term, do things that actually provide value in your life. And all of that evil stuff is somehow going to corrupt this world. And it's really funny when people sort of have that response to what I'm actually doing, and they don't really get the fact that I'm just trying to be a nice person. And I'm trying to help you out and to create something that's going to be long term. So I actually was talking about, there's one video that I was talking about was to be very careful with Bitcoin because it fluctuates extremely a lot. And what most people should be investing in, they should not be gambling in Bitcoin, which is what it is. And they should be investing long term in index funds, taking 10 to 15%, taking 20% of what they make and investing it for the long term in index funds. Why do you want to do that? It's because those index funds, they actually are you're buying into various different companies. So you're buying into Google. And Google is very smart. They have Alphabet has very, very smart people that are there that understand cryptocurrency and all that kind of stuff. So if it really takes off and becomes a big thing, then they themselves are actually going to start investing in it. And you don't have to worry about those kind of things. And it sort of smooths out the sort of risk that's happening. And the reason why people are getting into Bitcoin is because it's gambling and they think that they can make a quick buck. So it really is amazing in this world when I start seeing, looking around and looking for, what I see is a lot of people looking for quick wins. And that's not how life really works. There is a lot of investment that you have to make, long-term investment, where you're building relationships or building, something that is in your life that is going to be really important for you. You can't go to Vegas. You can't get a lottery ticket. You can't, go on social media, or you can't get Bitcoin. You can't whatever and expect to make this huge windfall and all of a sudden your life is going to work out. It rarely happens that way. It's extremely risky. And 9 times out of 10, probably even 99.9 times out of 10, what's going to happen, or out of 100, what's going to happen is you're going to lose all of your money because you're trying to chase. And instead of making the investment in something that's real and taking the time, where you are being very patient and you're doing this over the long haul, where it's going to take you decades until eventually you actually build something that is worthwhile and that is going to be really important in your life and going to be important in other people's life. Because you really don't want to do anything that's really scammy and sort of scamming other people out or looking for sort of fast, quick things. Things take a long time and they develop over the course of decades. They develop over at least 5 years, at least 10 years by the time you actually get something that's meaningful, that other people are going to pay attention to, that other people are going to actually really enjoy, and that they actually get what you are doing. So this is a guiding principle in my life, and I have to constantly be reminding myself, and that's why I actually put out this stuff, is to remind me that none of the stuff none of it happens overnight. It's a gradual thing, and you don't even know that it's actually happening until the point that you actually, you've maybe accumulated wealth, or you built this wonderful relationship with a spouse or a significant other, or maybe you've gone to graduate school and you made this great investment, and now you have this sort of graduate you've done something in your life, or maybe you went to college and all of a sudden something has happened that is really important in your life. But that takes a lot of gradual, slow, grinding work that people don't really get. It's not that you all of a sudden, it's really funny because I see this all the time in terms of people think that, oh man, physicians make all sorts of money and everything. And all, that they are just, um, they're lucky and all that kind of stuff. What people don't see is not only the financial investment that a physician has made, or somebody that has made over the course of many, many years, but also the investment that they made in themselves. So yes, they make a lot of money, but at the same time, you have to take into account that there is this long history that has happened before them. And you have to realize that that is what happens in most things that are worthwhile in this world, is that there's this long investment that's slow and steady, and it's a grind, it's work. And it pans out in decades. It doesn't pan out immediately. It's not sort of a short thing. And you have to sort of acknowledge that there is this long-term thing that's going on. So if you're working on projects in your life, what you have to sort of imagine is that this is going to take a long time. And you have to take that sort of slow grind perspective, that it's going to take a long time. And that is okay. You have to sort of acknowledge that this is a slow grind, and be used to it, and be used to the fact that nobody, either, two responses you're going to get is the first response, nobody's ever going to pay attention to you initially. But then when you get sort of moderate success with the thing that you're doing, they're all going to say that you're lucky, or that you don't know what you're talking about. That, well, that's going to happen early on as well. People are going to say, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. You're just a kid. All of those kind of things. Or, for me now, it's you're old. What do you know? All of those kind of things. And this is what happens. And you just have to get used to it and get within kind of just accepting of the fact that, yeah, you could share your ideas, and your ideas are really sound and they're good ideas, but just know that people are going to, they're not going to like what you're going to say, because you're calling them out on their BS. And when you call them out on their BS, they are going to react in sort of negative ways. They're going to have a negative emotional reaction to it, and they're going to come out in different responses, and either be very angry, or deal with it in such a way that they blame you for absolutely everything, or they say that life is being cheated, that they're being cheated in some sort of way. So realizing that this stuff takes a long time, and it's a slow grind, and it is boring, and it is tedious, and that is okay. That's what you should be doing. You should be in the grind. You should be okay with the grind, and realizing that this is a decades thing where you're going to get to something in the end. And this is going to happen with you if you're in graduate school, or in university at this moment. People are going to criticize you and say, what are you doing? It's a total waste of your time. Happened to me. It's going to happen to you as well. They're all going to say it's a total waste of your time. What are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. And what's going to happen is you're going to get to the point where at the end, they're going to say that, you were lucky, you were really smart, or whatever, all of these kind of weird excuses, instead of just realizing it's a slow grind. A lot of people can do it. A lot more people think that they probably should be doing it. And they have to realize that anything that is significant in your life, anything that is real, anything that matters, takes a long time, and it takes decades, and it takes a lot of work until you get to the point where, this is a really meaningful thing. So, it's like you can go to a nightclub and pick up a significant other for the night, and they're probably going to taste like cigarettes, and they're going to smell. In the morning, you're going to look at them, and you're not going to be impressed. Or you can meet somebody in the park, and you say hi, you go out for coffee. The next day, you maybe go out for dinner. The next day after that, you go do something, maybe go for a walk or whatever. And then, so on and so forth, until 20 years down the road, you've actually built this meaningful relationship with somebody that actually matters, and you really care for them, and you do absolutely anything for them. And those are two different choices, or two different sort of alternatives that you can choose. And I am a big believer in taking the long road and really being patient and really enjoying the process, but at the same time knowing that it's going to take a long time and it's going to be a grind. And that's how you actually do really important, significant things in this world. And you have to ignore all of the haters that you're going to experience and you're going to see, and just say that they're just having this weird emotional response. And maybe by showing how you are behaving and you're sort of just talking openly about how you're behaving, maybe some of them will change, probably not, but maybe some of them will change, and they will they'll maybe come around and be a lot more happier with themselves, and sort of smile every once in a while and realize that it is a grind, but it's okay that it's a grind. All right. So with that, give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching this live, and I appreciate it. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.